Okay, let's try this. I might not post video, but hoping that this works out. This has been the largest, longest lasting floordrobe I think I've ever had. And it's been way long past due that I actually get this taken care of. I'm guessing that this has been at least growing since January. Yeah, it's been a weird year. Weird, good, bad, interesting. Oh, those are dead. Uh, I wanted to talk about a lot of things, and I just haven't been able to really bring myself to it. So I don't know. Problematic people is a topic that I've been really thinking about lately, and I don't get why there's so much hate against problematic people. Like I get it, they're problematic, the description, but like everyone's problematic. It's to err is human, and yeah, like what is cancelable one week is forgotten about in the next. It doesn't seem to really affect anyone, for that matter, much longer than their 15 minutes of fame would allow it to. Which is not to say, like, some people really don't, or some people don't deserve the backlash for their atrocious behavior. Like, some people are just shit people. But, I mean, we look up to those people, uh, and they end up offering something greater to society outside of their moral, reprehensible behavior. Some of the greatest thinkers, writers, artists, musicians were probably some of the worst fucking people on this face of the planet. They did horrible shit like sleep with underage fans and fucking just be dramatic hot messes, PR nightmares, controversy after controversy. Fucking like, how many rock stars can you name that like destroyed hotel rooms, that made life hell for the cleaning staff? How many rock stars are raging fucking narcissists? You gotta be to put yourself out there and to market your talent or skill in the world we live in. Like, to have any a modem of fame, you have to sacrifice your privacy. You have to sacrifice your yeah, not so much talent, but your ability to remain anonymous, which a lot of people do not see the value in. They could make some of the most beautiful, like heart wrenching, like bits of art that you can think of, like the most beautiful paintings or the sweetest poetry or the most haunting musical pieces. And without that little bit of narcissism to drive them forward into projecting it out into the world, it probably won't leave their tiny little circle, if it even is acknowledged in that circle at all. And yeah, like it's all subjective too. Like one man's narcissist is another person's idol. It's it just is what it is. Like it's there's such a fear of being problematic that it just kind of defeats the purpose of being famous or being influential in any regard. And I mean, I for one, I know I suffer. Like I want to be liked by everyone, but we live in a world where that is just not reality. Like there's always going to be a hater, there's always going to be a critic, there's always going to be someone that isn't considerate of who you are or even cares to acknowledge that you're a person. But then for every one of them, there's bound to be like 10 people who will feel inspired by you or feel like they connect to you. And it comes down to a lot of like the people with these squeaky clean images, they are the ones that fall the hardest. Like everyone that's like so heckin' wholesome or what the fuck ever, they tend to be the most depraved and usually the cruelest of the problematic people. Like, I mean, it's tricky because fame has an interesting way of warping your perception of yourself against other people. I mean, it's not hard to see why. Like, if you are used to being a nobody and then all of a sudden you blow up overnight, or even if you blow up after years and years of effort put into whatever it is you're being blown up over, it there will be some kind of egotism involved. Like there will be some elitism that it's like I earned this or like this is like whatever it is. If it feels like it's like um owed to you. Yeah, I think that's the phrase. Nobody owes you nothing except a little bit of patience. And even then, they only owe you like a little bit of patience. They don't have to understand you. They don't have to put up with you. They don't have to like listen to you. They only owe you patience. And that's all you really owe anyone. And I think a lot of people forget that, especially fans of these problematic idols. Like they feel like they wrap up their identity in a pseudo what's the word? So fuck, what is that fucking word? Parasocial way. There we go. They wrap up their own identity in a parasocial way, and if the person that they are parasocial with acts in a way that's out of character, they feel betrayed. And like, I mean, rightly so, am I right? Like, fuck that person for having, flaws and being a human with like individual wants and needs that don't conform to a scripted uh, persona. We aren't television tropes. We aren't two-dimensional figures. In our own mind, we are four-dimensional beings, and the people closest to us are more three-dimensional, and then people farther out from us might be two-dimensional, and the people we only know by name are the one-dimensional ones, and that's something we forget, that we are all humans with our own individual goals and understandings and perspectives. And it becomes very existential at times when you are forced to remember that constantly, which is way, way beyond the scope of any celebrity, especially when it's more focused on their craft or reaping the rewards of their fame than they are actually realizing that other people exist. Can you honestly say that you would do the same? Like you would constantly be aware of everyone else that is influenced by you, or like what's the word? That is yeah, just influenced by you? Like no, no. Don't even lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. Like we all know that that's impossible. And if you even tried to maintain that, you would go fucking insane. You couldn't. The rate of like social exposure that social media has provided for humans is beyond the scope of what we were ever biologically intended for. We were made to know and be known by maybe 100 people tops. Tops. The idea of the celebrity is only an invention of like the last 400 years, but really, if you think about it, it's only been in the last 60 years since like the late 50s when teen idols and media really took off. Like, we could see Elvis Presley on the TV and hear everyone's bogus opinions about how his hips moved, which seems like tame now, but back in the day it was fucking just mind blowingly lewd to the moms clutching their pearls at home. And I'm not trying to excuse the behavior of these problematic people. Like, they're problematic for a reason. Whatever they do that gets them that label usually is well deserved. But that doesn't mean that that is all they are as a person. Yeah, some people can be really shit people. They can be cruel to others. They could take advantage and exploit and manipulate and do whatever. And that's sadly the world we live in. And we could pretend to be on our moral high horses about it, but we would be no different in the same predicament. You can say all you want that you would be, but statistically you're wrong. You just have never been put into a position where you've been allowed to exploit other people before. And there's something to be said too about the artwork that these problematic people create. Like, damaged people have an insight to life that a well adjusted person could never have. They can see the world in a way that is profoundly more intense in whichever direction than someone who is perfectly well balanced. Yes, this is an anecdotal view, but just bear with me. Do you think that you could see the beauty in Van Gogh's work if he wasn't bipolar depressed? Do you think Michelangelo would have painted like the angels in the Sistine Chapel as pretty as he did if he wasn't trying to hide his perfectionism and his very homoerotic fixations? Do you think that Hemingway would have written the way he did if he didn't have mommy or daddy issues? Or Picasso spent his entire life trying to paint like a child does because he painted like a fucking master by 14. Like, he wanted to regress. And he spent all his life like rising up like ex-wife after ex-wife after ex-wife and like just constantly chasing that flame of lust or whatever, not ever capturing what he was seeking. On the flip side, you have someone like Jackson Pollock, who now his name comes up and like, oh, you look at his splatter paintings and you think anyone can do that, blah. He was a drunkard for one, and two, he explicitly made those more and more abstract to try to upset the people buying his work. He was trying to be anti-known, and honestly, what led to his own like unfortunate demise was like his own alcoholism. But yeah, no, like, he only stopped with the splatter abstracts once he realized like, hey, you're just eating this shit up. I need to do something else. Kurt Cobain managed to capture the voice of the generation at the time who were disenfranchised and just this cut out from the Reagan era that had been going on prior. And he was a deeply depressed person, deeply emotional person. Excuse me, that he had a hard time with his emotions. And I mean, anyone with any type of mental illness can probably say the same. Like, they have this hard relationship with their own emotions as well as the emotions of others. And whether you like Nirvana or not, like, he had a passion in his songwriting and his musical ability that cannot be replicated by someone who didn't have that same dysphoria. And fame has an interesting way of causing the same kind of disturbances in normal people that they do in already dysregulated people. Fame gets to their head and they become a lot more egocentric and very disruptive and abusive and just rats more likely than not. Uh, Going back to music, like look at fucking Oasis. They seem like just average, ordinary Brits, and then they got a little bit of fame, and then they became well, fucking Oasis. Whatever. One hit wonders. And yeah, the way social media makes us all act like paparazzi tabloids with when it comes to micro celebrities is kind of appalling, actually. I thought we could be collectively better than that, but apparently, really not because, I mean, tabloids existed before cancellation culture, and canceling people doesn't seem to do anything in the long run except, keep their name in the spotlight. There's no such thing as bad publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity, and everyone that we cancel is just come back away from being the golden child again of the media darling, whatever. What the fuck happened to my shirt? Damn it! Never loan things to friends. They insist on customizing it. I guess I could use this for I don't know, some kind of fabric, something. Uh, Whatever. Tank top. Oh my god, I'm starting to see floor again. I bought a mic. I hope this mic actually works though. I don't know. I got it from AliExpress. Did it die on me? Nope, it's still going. Sweet. So I don't know how this is gonna sound. I don't even know if I'm gonna use this take. I mean, it's just me rambling and folding laundry. Might just post it for the lulz. Oh my god, he said lulz. He's one of those incels from 4chan. Her. Oh my god, that was like a decade ago. Drop it already. People change. I can't even fucking go to that site anymore. It's just all fucking porn and just the same psyops that fucking are put there. Like ever since Occupy Wall Street, I swear to God that major sites outside of Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and stuff, well, even Reddit and Facebook to their extent, they have been overrun by bots that are explicitly put there to mold a culture that is gross. It's just really gross. And you could see semblance of it. Like go to any little news blog or news site or whatever, and you'll see the comments of the about these horrible, just really just out of pocket comments from these no names. And I'm willing to bet that some of them might be real, but a lot of them just seem like babies first bot swarm. Like it's just they seem to be put there specifically to drive engagement as well as drive fear and anger because they're all just saying ludicrous things that no normal person would say or think, and usually filled with misspellings. Like I don't want to think that there's some illiterate fucking hillbilly out there that's just spending their entire day fucking commenting the most outrageous shit on the local news stuff. I mean, I'm sure there are, but not to that extent. Not that many, unless they're forgetting to log in every freaking time. But uh, and the whole dead internet theory. Like I get internet's been dying a long time. Like we know that it's mostly bot network traffic, and which that's not a bad thing per se. It's just like a lot of people have actual lives that they don't spend online constantly. Like maybe we used to as teens or bored young adults with no lives. Like most people don't actually spend that much time on social media, and the ones that do are, well, they don't. The ones that do don't spend much time outside of it, and that's for good or bad reason. It's really not really a good or bad thing. It's just some people are a lot more antisocial or asocial, I should say. They prefer to not have their physical presence be intertwined with their actual thoughts or their expressions of any sort. Like me, like I was talking to my girlfriend about this. It's like the thoughts and stuff I produce in the cyberspace are a lot more coherent than anything I could form with my mouth words. Like given like a typewriter, or not even a typewriter, giving a keyboard and access to electricity, I am pretty good with my words. And as you can clearly hear, like I barely string words together. And it really sucks because I'm genuinely like a thoughtful person, but you wouldn't be able to tell because I'm quiet a lot. I don't like speaking because I'm so used to being talked over or ignored or disregarded, so it kind of atrophied over the years. And then, the brain damage from fucking self abuse or drug use have kind of also really showed over the years, but I mean that's comes with the territory. Like I really do not care about how other people perceive me in the physical because like why should I don't feel like I'm my best self in the physical. Physical kind of just is a bummer. It's just it's just a vehicle for the mental processes that we all experience anyway. Like if you close your eyes right now, where are you in your body? Are you even in your body? Do you even have a body? How is that any different from when you're locked in on social media? Like you are a different person, like a completely different entity in cyberspace than you are in the physical space, which people also like to forget. Like if you like do you think that your physical, like where is the internet, like where is your social media, where is your profile on X or Facebook or what the fuck ever? They don't exist, but yet they do exist because like if you spend time there, like you got to be somewhere, your focus has got to be somewhere, it's got to be on something. It's like the same people who pretend that imaginations don't exist when clearly sometimes imaginations shape the actual real world for other people. Like someone once had the brilliant imaginative idea to create a giant spider web of electricity that we could all send pictures of cats to each other with. And after selling it as like some military application, boom, we got ARPANET, which evolved into the internet. And yeah, here we are today, where you're listening to some guy just rant about nothing while folding clothes. What are you doing on your Friday night? Hmm. This is like the most I've actually been able to accomplish on this freaking floordrobe in months. Thank you for being here with me on this moment. Like I'm glad I'm not alone. Like I get really emotional about my clothes. Paradoxically, I feel like all my favorite clothes always get stolen from me from people who like overtake them or whatever. Like I actually heard recently, like the whole reason girls steal their hoodies is like supposed to be like a sex thing. Like if they think you're good at sex, they will take your hoodie as a trophy. It's like, God, I wish, I wish I could like really fit into my fucking fashion budget, but I end up being freezing with all my A-list clothing gone by February. Or I used to. I don't know. I've kind of calmed down my years. Or just had very, very cold people that like to just not have clothing appropriate for the season. Funny, I had a friend that used to go by the tagline that hoes don't get cold. Fuck, I can't fucking say it myself. Ho, Hoes don't get cold. And now that she's like settled down and with a kid and like all that, like she's always freezing. I thought that was funny. Funny twist of events. Damn. Where some of these clothes aren't even fucking mine. Like, how do I end up with like who wears this shit? What the fuck? New stockpile. Yep, we are getting closer to the core of the overall floordrobe. Huh, interesting. We got that for Christmas like a year or two ago, and I've yet to wear it. I don't trust that. Ugh. Or dead clothes. More random strips of fabric. When did I even wear this? I don't trust it either. Oh, I've been looking for those. Those would have come in handy like before summer came. Look, I'm not telling you you have to like people for being shitty people. Like, I'm just saying, like, it comes with like separating art from the artist. Like, you can hate the artist all you want, but sometimes the worst fucking artists or the worst people make the best artists and they make the most beautiful art. I do not at all stand for what Jesse Lacey from the band Brand New did in his youth. Like what he did was exploitive and like just abusive towards his young fans. But his music is beyond him. I would hope it will last in this world a lot longer than he will. And the same could be said for any artist, really. Like they will soon be rotting corpses in a hole somewhere, but their legacy will be what was left behind, whether it is in the art that touched a million people or the atrocities that they committed against a few people. I'm not saying that those few people are invalid, but I'm also not saying that the their artwork is invalidated by a few people either. You can disagree with me all you want on that. I really don't care. Like, I am so over this constant fake, like just facade that everyone has that they are a moral, upstanding person when we are all sacks of shit on this mud ball of a planet. The more you try to deny that kind of nature, the more I just do not fucking trust you as a person. Oh, I'm moral heck, or I'm heckin' wholesome. You're a fucking monster and you know it. Oh, look at me, I'm so progressive and I'm so for everyone else's rights that I cannot stand any opposition to anyone's viewpoint. You will, you choose no hill to live on, and you will die at the foot of any. And also too, if you're like one of those types to automatically just assume the worst of someone because they don't share your very specific viewpoint of things, or you don't allow nuance to exist, you are a liar and also just overall victim complex walking. I swear to God. Yeah, I know it's a place for me to stand on my privilege, blah blah blah. Shut up. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying like you can be allowed to like or dislike things and not be automatically a monster for your opinions based on facts that are that are regardless. Oh wait, hang on. Based on like if like scenario, if I told someone like I really cannot stand the texture or taste of peanut butter, and someone equated it to me being racist because of um, George Washington Carver being the inventor of peanut butter, or allegedly, I don't even know if that's true anymore, and black, like that's. I mean, yes, I know that seems like superfluous here, but like you damn well know what I'm talking about when people just stretch to these limits to like just like persecute other people based on opinions. It's ridiculous. It's been going on with every facet of minority culture, and like it's fun to take advantage of when you're part of the minority, but after a while you realize it's not doing anything for your effort or your it's not doing anything for your cause. It's more harmful to your overall movement in the long run to maintain that kind of knives out behavior with any kind of criticism or opinion against you. Not every opinion held against you is out to destroy you. Not every opinion that is critical of you is held by someone that wants to see you destroy it. It's not often that extreme. It's only made that extreme when it's treated as such. And I know I have to be very careful about how I word things or how I describe things, especially too because of the circles that I find myself in, and that like it's what can you do? Like I mean, I'd hope that the people that know me in these circles know that I'm a genuinely good friend who might not completely agree with their points of view. That's what makes us different people. That's what makes us different individuals. But to claim or to believe that because we don't have cookie cutter opinions to each other that I am your enemy, that's fascist fucking logic right there. There is a subtle fascism that has been creeping into the behaviors of the man. How can I say this without sounding dismissive? But the woke liberal snowflakes. No, you know what I mean. The rational people online. They are afraid of actual fascists to the point that they are themselves becoming fascist. It's you guys often forget, like, fascism comes out of fear. Like, that's how it grows, that's how it gets strong. Like, that's how these strong men with like these rigid us versus them mentality beliefs that, like, cause genocides, that's how these people get into power, is through fear. If you are afraid of the opposition, if you are so afraid that you dehumanize the opposition, or that anyone who doesn't hold your opinion or hold your belief, like, you are no worse. You are no worse than what you see in front of you. Like, it's, and like, I've spouted this same thought process before and been called a fucking, like, fascist over it. Like, myself, like, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's all social media is just ridiculous. Like, you can't take it too fucking seriously when people do, and it's really sad that, because how everyone does take it so seriously, you are it's self defeating. You yourself have to take it just as seriously sometimes. The internet used to be about fun, about escaping from the severity of existence, the hardships, the, like, you think like everything that's posted on Instagram or MySpace or whatever was, like, showing the good and bad days. No, 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 no. Maybe sometimes, but a lot of it was just like people showing off the best or the most significant parts of their lives, not the day to day miseries that make all of us suffer.